Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. You can see it right there, over there, wherever the hell it is. Anyways, so today sorry. Where do we start? That's the name of it. That's what I put. The thumbnail is actually a double rainbow that I took out in my backyard. I haven't in a while, but I got lots of, over the summertime, lots of double rainbows and whatnot. So, okay. So where do we actually start? What do we start talking about? Should I tell you like my first encounter with something weird in the sky? So when I was either in between the ages of 12 and 14, I lived in this trailer park in East Orlando, and it was a very large trailer park. And I was at a friend's house in the news section, and we were all standing outside and whatnot, looking up in the stars and everything, blah, blah, blah. And this one star, it split into four things up into the sky. So, and they went on all directions, north, east, south, west. And they did that several times and danced in the sky and whatnot. That's what I'm calling it, okay? So we called NASA, we called the news people, we did all that because we seen all those movies and stuff, People of the Third Kind, and then, the one scary movie with the clowns that came from outer space and started eating people. So I seen a lot of scary movies, so I was like, they're coming to get us. But then nothing was done about it. Didn't see anything else in the sky for a long time, maybe some shooting stars or whatever. But I've seen a lot of stuff since then, since I was 12, since I was a kid. I'm trying to, because see, I kind of want to get it all in chronicle order, but I'm probably not going to. So we're just going to have to deal with that. I like to look at the stars and everything my whole life. I pay attention to the sun and the moon and how they, rise. Not any of that other freaky shit. I just like to look at them because I think they're, I don't stare at the sun or anything, but I like to watch sunsets and sunrises and moonrises and moonsets, because depending where you're at in Florida, you can do all of that. If you really wanted to, you could do all of that in one day, because it's not hard to drive across the state. It's only a couple 100 miles wide. I think like 200 and some miles wide. I don't remember. But I just like to do those things. I like to watch the sky and the sunsets and the different colors and stuff. But so we lived, this was probably about 10 years ago. It's before I moved down to Fort Myers. So it's about 10 years ago. We were living in this other trailer. And one night everybody was sleeping and whatnot. I had a real eerie feeling in that area. So everybody was sleeping and everything. And in the middle of the night, I was laying there and something grabbed me and was trying to take me, dude. Like, it was trying to take me. So I just raised up in bed and I said, "Let me go." And that woke up my husband, and I had marks on my legs. I had 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. I don't know, what that was. It was like a bruise. It was there for, a couple days or something. I should have taken pictures of it, but I didn't. So at that point, I started staying up mostly through the night and stuff, because I felt like I had to protect my family. A couple doors down, some of those, what are they, paranormal chasers or whatever. So I think that's why I was seeing what I was seeing there, because they were bringing shit home with them because they're retards. So we ended up moving to Fort Myers, and we lived on this property in a house that we rented. And just, my brother and I were sitting on the back porch. Everybody was asleep. Jimmy was in there watching something on the TV, and out of like nowhere. Because the way the fences are set up, you can't really get into our section of the backyard. It was closed off. So this extremely big white wolf, like it was kind of like one of those dire wolves is what I would explain it. It wasn't all gnarly or anything. It was beautiful. It was white, all white. And it was just standing at the back porch, at the door. There was an actual door there. The way the old man built the back porch, it had a wall and then screened in. It was all wood and everything. So there was a window there, a glass window in the wooden door. And you could, open it up. And I was like, it was like right here. So I was like, yo, buddy, I don't know what you're doing here, but you're not even from Florida. We don't want to hurt you or anything, but I think you need to go on about your way because this place isn't for you. And, so Jimmy came out and then he went around the side yard. He snuck out there and he moved the fence because it was just one of those fences. You could move it, okay? So he moved the fence out of the way and then he came back through and I said, look, and I told the wolf, I said, my husband opened the side gate over there for you. You can go out that way and leave and go wherever it is that you're going. So he just, the damn thing just turned around and left. Never saw it again. Never saw it again. So it was just, weird. And then another time, I'm going to skip over some stuff because I don't need to share everything with you. So another time, I was renting a room right down the street from that house I was just telling you about where I saw the wolf. It was like a couple doors down, and the property was just weird to begin with. Like something freaky had went on there before, and I could feel it. Jimmy and I were split up at that time, so he didn't live there, but we had just got done having dinner together, so he was dropping me off, and he got his van stuck, and we just got it from being unstuck, and we were standing there saying our goodbyes and whatnot, and then right down in the middle of the road, one of those, it looked like a stealth bomber. It just slowly went down the road. And when I mean like slowly, like we stood there watching it go by like, what the fuck? And it just kept going. We didn't run to the road or anything. It just kind of like we just stood there for a second, not realizing what, just happened. And I had to ask Jimmy, I'm like, did you just see that? Because I thought, there's a possibility that, I could be, they say people that ate a lot of acid could have acid flashbacks. I don't believe that, but that's what they say. So I just wanted to confirm that I saw it. And he was like, yeah, I saw that. And I was like, oh, shit. And I got this real bad feeling about it. And then time went on, we moved to Orlando and we were living in this one apartment that was right off of the I-4. And one night I was sitting there, it's real late at night watching TV. I wasn't able to sleep much at night still. And I heard these sounds. You have to understand something. My first response or my first notion of doing anything is just to see what's going on. It's not, let me grab my phone and start taking pictures and videos and everything. But this was back in 2018, possibly 2017, because at the end of 2018, we moved down here to Cape Coral. So I was up, it was late at night, and I was up and I heard these weird sounds. They were like, kind of like booming sounds, but not sonic booms, because I've heard those mostly through my life growing up. 45 minutes away from NASA, you tend to hear and see a lot of the stuff that goes on with the spaceships and whatnot. So that's also how I know that whatever Elon Musk is doing is pukaki, because our sky never looked like that before. Things that have been in our sky, it was never like that growing up. Never. Okay? And I always paid attention, and I was up always late at night. But anyways, so it was these weird booming sounds, and then it just stopped. Nothing was outside. At first I thought, well, maybe it's a transformer blowing or something, but nobody's power went out. I was on the second story, so I could see outside. And then nobody woke up in my house or anything, so I said, whatever. And then 2019... 2020 came along. I believe it was in 2020. It might have been 2019. We lived in this house right here. And one night, Jimmy and I were arguing, and my window right here, I was sitting on the bed, because this used to be a different room, and I heard tapping. There's no freaking trees out there. And I ran out there to my sliding glass door, and I looked out, and I saw these little gray dudes running and just disappear, dude. I mean, they just disappeared right in front of me. So Jimmy ran out the front door with the gun, of course, because we were going to take... Listen, we're not getting invaded by aliens, all right? They're not taking us. So then it was over, And then another time, Jimmy and I were walking the dogs. This was shortly after that. We were walking dogs, and down the road. Now the light's on all the time. And what made us look up is because the light was on and it went off and then came on again. It made us look up. And right then we saw another stealth bomber type one, right? Neither one of us had our phones on us. And it just flew a little bit, and then it went, I'm going to call it the Predator, because the movie The Predator, it kind of goes shimmery. It's not shimmer, though. It's just like it it disappears, but you can see something in the sky still. It's strange. So then another time I had the back sliding glass door open, because it's Florida, and it had to be fall time, because it was nice enough out for me to have the window and the sliding glass door open, and it was nighttime, and I was finishing up some dishes or whatever, which is unusual because I usually don't do the dishes at night. And the window right in front of the sink, I was looking out it and everything. Then all of a sudden, this one tripped me. It made me laugh too, because it kind of freaks me out at the same time. But I look out the window there, and it's right here, like a foot and a half away, okay? And because the sinks and then the window, okay? And I look out there, and there's a gray alien, but he doesn't look like the other ones. And he's wearing a oversized sweatshirt with a hoodie and a beanie on, almost like he was trying to get my attention. But I looked at him. I said, "Bro, you ain't supposed to be here." And I said, "Jimmy." And he's like, "What?" And then it was gone. So I ran to the sliding glass door and I shut it. Like, that's going to help, right? Like, it disappeared in front of me. Like, shutting the door is going to make it stop, right? So, but that was my response to that. And then another time, I'm getting all of these in there because you have to understand, I've been seeing weird stuff for a long time. So another time, Jimmy's out there watering the garden. And Duke's are, the dogs are running around and whatnot, and he's out there watering it, and he's like, "Angela, you gotta come out here, and I come running, and I should know by now to just grab my phone, and he's like, "You see that in the sky?" And as soon as I looked up, and still, the stealth bomber, okay, that's what it looks like, the triangle one, it just disappears into the sky. I'm like, holy shit. So, needless to say, a lot of weird thing goes on no matter where we go. Jimmy wasn't here for this, but I think this is important because it just popped in my head. I go out every morning to give wild bird seeds to the birds and to my chickens. You know, I let them run around the yard and whatnot, and all these wild birds come, doves, blackbirds, brown birds, lots of birds. So I was going out there with the seed because I have 2 spots that I put it in, and I let the chickens out. And where the one is, I have I have a thing that holds the bird feeder. So I fill it up and everything. Well, right underneath it, always the bird seed falls and it gets wet there, and it's summertime. This is last summer. And I'm walking by and I notice it looks a little bubbly. There goes my dog. It looks a little bubbly. Like, why is it bubbling up? And I'm thinking, well, could it be because some of these bird seeds, they have brewer's yeast in it, you know, because it's good for the birds. And I was like, is that, you know, is it, you know, cause and effect, you know, that stuff is down there and the water and whatnot. And I'm like looking, and it's just kind of bubbling up bigger. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? So I go over and I grab one of those garden sticks. You use them to stick them in the ground to hold up a plant or whatever. So I grabbed one and I just whacked it. I whacked the bubbly stuff coming up, and I whacked it. And I said, I wanted to see if it would work. And I said, Yeshua, like that, and bam. I go and get the chickens out, and I come back down, and all the bubbly is gone. It's now sunk in like it normally is, you know, because birds and chickens, they throw everything everywhere. So that was kind of strange. And then the part about my chickens showing up from nowhere, I made a whole video on that. You can go check that out. But the one chicken showed up, and then 2 weeks later, the other chicken showed up, which is quite strange. Rabbits started having their babies one time on the porch, but they don't do that anymore because I took the planter's box off. They decided that the big box that I was growing herbs in was theirs to have babies in because it was safe, and those little bastards ate all my herbs, all of them. I had a nice parsley. It was huge. They ate it. I'm telling you all this because I've seen a lot of things in the last 4 or 5 years that top all of that. I've sat and watched TVs and been inundated with just all kinds of information to make me look it up and see what it means. And sometimes I wonder, where should I start at with it? What should I say? You know, like, do I tell you that I saw in one of them a tunnel, and we walked down there, and it was just horrible. Like, they were boiling kids in piss and shit, and they were just doing all kinds of things. And then I ended up somewhere else, and they were, I don't know what they were going to do to that child on that stone bed. I don't know, but my imagination can run wild on that, and it sucked. It scared me. It not only did it scare me, but it pissed me off. Is what it did. One time I was waking up from a nap, because sometimes I take naps during the day, and all I could hear was a child screaming. It was just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And I was getting these flashes in my head of this. There was a tree, and all these garments were hanging on it, and there was these men there, and they were raping that child. So I just begged God. I begged him, please just stop it. And it came to with the question of, could you imagine? Really think about it. What does God hear? Does he hear all the screams all the time, I couldn't do that. That's a very heavy crown to wear. Because I couldn't even take it for maybe it was 30 seconds. And then it happened another time. And I just begged for it to stop. You know, we always have a lot of things to say about a lot of stuff. But do we ever question? We have the same feelings because we're made in God's image. But do we question how? As in, like, how can he listen to that? You got to be strong to be able to see and hear and know. And then a lot of people question, well, why doesn't he just do anything? Which I have too. And people, and when people tell you that, well, I've never been mad at God, then you've never felt real pain. It's the truth. And I turn that into, well, how does he feel about it? Could he hear the screams from my mother's spirit when she was dying? You know, could he hear? Can he hear when the baby's being aborted and it's being sucked out? Can he hear that? Does he hear it screaming? Does he hear when we kill things we shouldn't kill? That's pain. And then there's physical pain. But those are a lot of things that we don't talk about. You know, there's all these different stories about different things. Everybody wants Atlantis in the golden age. But is that the reason why they don't teach about Noah more? Because of the golden age? Because they don't want you to know? They tell you the Crusades and that they tell you that it had to be done. No, it didn't. Jesus told them when they went out as disciples, if they do not accept you, go to the edge of the town and wipe your feet off, the dust off your feet, and carry on. He didn't say, go in there and beat them with the Bible. Okay? He didn't say, go to this other continent and beat people into submission and steal their children from their homes and force them into a religion they know nothing about. He didn't say, beat them with rulers. He didn't say that. He didn't say, go to Ireland and beat everybody into submission. He didn't say that. He didn't say that to Africa. He didn't say that to any place. But that's what they did. That's what your Roman dogs did. Roman dogs. That's what they are. But what do? The pack of pedophiles still moves on. Still sacrificing children. Oh, they just don't do it in front of your face. You see, you think that magic and witchery and everything is going to be like some show you watch on TV, but it's not. They have you convinced already that you should have your phone around you all the time. No communication goes on in between families. It doesn't matter if you're close or not. You don't talk to each other. You can't put your phones down and talk to each other. Children are doing nothing but playing games. You don't hear them outside anymore playing, as everybody was out there worrying about pedophile books in schools, or, behind that, they were taking all of the history books out of the library. Now it's only autobiographies that somebody else looked into, the history books that have been around forever. Britannica, the old ones. You could go to the library and you could look back at even the older ones. You can't anymore. The lady said, it's on the internet. They have all control over everything to change perspective, which is what you guys go by. You go by, well, I see it this way. I see it this way. It's right this way. You talk about how bad Soros is and how bad transhumanism is. Soros went around to all the countries buying political people. Buying. Him and his little cronies, and not just him, because the ones that you don't see, the they-thems, that's the real they-thems, not this shit you're seeing on your TV screen or on the YouTube or anything else. They are still controlling both sides like they always do. But you see, you talk shit about Soros and Kinzinger and all these other people, which when old Jabba the Hutt, Kinzinger, because come on, he looked like that. When he died, everybody was like, oh, he did such good things. Are you like, what? You talk shit about him before. You tell us Soros is bad for buying all these political people, but yet Elon Musk does it, and he does it publicly and tells you. And everybody's like, yeah, he's doing it for us. You're dumb. He ain't doing it for you. He ain't doing it for you. He's doing it for himself. You don't become the richest man in the world being smart. Yep, I said it. I said it. You think he's the one who comes up with all this stuff? No, he's not. It's called witchery, bro. And you don't want to even see it. You say, those crystals are evil. But yet, you carry it around with you all the time. You don't think there's crystals in this? You see, I want to tell you about something that happened last weekend because it was fun. I made that little minute 24-second video when we were out there on this trail called the East River Loop. And listen, I almost died twice. I'm kidding. It's a 3-mile hike. And there was, out of the whole time that because we did the whole thing, we only saw one other group that made it the whole way. We didn't see anybody else out there until this lady with her dog. And then she was like, oh, it can't be that much farther, as she was going to walk past us. And I had to tell her, no, dude, it's like 2 miles that way to get around it. And she was like, no. She had no bottled water on her or anything. And I'm like, I don't think she's going to make it. So she turned around. And so it was nice, though, because if you stood in the shade, the cool breeze would cool you down real fast. But walking in the sun, it gets you hot pretty fast. I still did it in jeans and boots and all that stuff because that was the safe thing to do. But afterwards, there's all these really cool trees. And I decided, I was looking at the one the week before, and I'm like, I think I can climb that. I'm 45 years old, and I'm looking at the tree like, I think I can climb it, dude. And then I was thinking, the next time we come out here, I'll wear those boots, and they'll help me, So we come up to it, and I'm taking my break, and I'm looking at this tree. I'm sitting on the picnic bench, and I'm looking at this tree, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can do it. And I walked around onto the other side, and I was like, yeah, this side's closer. I know I can do it. If Jimmy helps me and gives me a little lift up, I can do it. I know I can do it. I've already walked 3 miles today in the tundra. I almost got eaten by a gator. I'm just kidding. I didn't almost get eaten by a gator. And so I'm like, I can do it. Well, my nails, let me see. I have to cover my face so they'll focus in on my finger. Oh, it doesn't? So I have to hold it back here. Anyways, so you see, this one. You can't tell because I have to hold it back here. Anyways, my nails are they're shorter now, but last week they were pretty long. So I grabbed a hold of that tree and my nail, I thought it was going to bleed. I thought it was bleeding, but I just kept grabbing on and I got up that damn tree. And now look, these are the pictures I had Jimmy take while I was in the tree. Oh wait, that's the big tree that was on the walk. It was ginormous. And then that's the tree I climbed. I was looking at my finger because I ripped it right off of there. I'm going to climb it again the next time we go, and that way you can see how high off the ground I was. All right. So you got, I want to say this again because I'm being very serious about this. I've been watching the weather for years now. I live in Southwest Florida. It's pretty south and west. No, I'm just kidding. And it doesn't get cold here very often. I mean, like, cold to us is 65 degrees. We're like, ooh, you got to put a sweater on. Because it doesn't really get cold here. In most of Florida, I mean, it really doesn't get cold like it does in northern states. But for years now, because I saw something and it didn't make any sense to me. Over the years, there's going to be a big freeze. There's going to be a big freeze. A lot of people are going to die, and they're going to say it's because of this, whatever they're bringing out right now. I think it's the bird flu, the X flu, who freaking knows, whatever name they want to use. But that's what it kept saying it to me. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to say nothing until, and then throughout the videos over the years, I've said, and I said this to people personally too, there's a freeze coming. And it's going to freeze and things are going to die. And I don't know when it's going to come, but just be prepared. Anybody that lives in the northern states, especially, but as you get down south, also, you need to have a portable heater that does not plug into the wall. Something that you can, whatever, if it's gas powered or if it's a gas grill you can bring inside, or you're gonna have to be real creative because it's coming. And I've been watching the forecast on several different channels, and it's gonna get pretty freaking cold. Like, it's gonna freeze in Florida, like freeze. And they're not gonna tell you until the last minute. So that's by design. I hope you know that. It's by design. So if you live in Florida and for some reason you just happen to have one of those houses that have a fireplace, you better get you some wood. All right? Because you know that we don't have freezes like this in Florida. And the last one we had was in 1989. I looked it up. I should have put this in the thing, but it doesn't matter. 1989, we had a lot of freeze, and they have to do rolling blackouts because it takes more electricity to heat your home, they say, than to cool it down. So with everybody gonna, you just listen to me. That's all I want. I don't want a bunch of people to no longer be with us. I don't want them to go into the recycler. I don't want it. And you need to get you a heater. Like you, Jeannie, if you actually watch this whole video, then you need to have yourself a freaking heater, dude. Go to the camping store, go online, go somewhere. You need to have it in the next week. You need to be able to heat your house. Cover your windows with blankets. There's all kinds of things, and you can find all kinds of videos about how to keep your house warm, how to do, candles. I'm telling you, it's going to freeze. And when it freezes in Florida this time of year, it's going to kill a whole bunch of crops and mosquitoes. But we grow corn and strawberries and other things that go to harvest in the end of January, the beginning of February. I think some go in March. And that's going to be an issue. Plus, we still got all those different food places blowing up, or a fire, or a plane crashes into one. I mean, there's just all kinds. That means there's famine coming, and they started it 6 years ago. You heard me right. 6 years ago they started it, possibly almost 7 years ago, because we have so much. Because America's so wasteful, and all we do is throw most of our food away, why homeless people can't eat, why working mothers and working parents can't afford to put food on their plate, why but we just throw so much food away. And with it being the year of the Jubilee, we're in for a bumpy ride, especially with that guy over there, trying to be nice. With him opening with Pope, with the Pope, he's better than the rest of us, opening those doors and whatnot. We're in for a hell of a ride. And with Elon Musk opening those portals and stuff, with, I know you don't want it to be true. It's a portal you see in the sky opening up when a rocket goes off and it turns colors like that. Period. When someone tells you over and over again that they're not transhumanists, I'm not a transhumanist, but if I can lose my legs or my sight or my whatever, I would love to get a chip in my brain. We ain't on the same team, brother. Do you even believe in God? You seem to think that Noah was using a fucking saw and an axe building a boat. But it's going to be the new golden age. Get the fuck out of here. Smart Dust, already here. Already put stuff in your inhalers, all your other stuff. It's already here. It's in your food. Doing the same exact thing, but because it's a different person, it's okay. Because there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's no such thing as right and wrong. And you say, Angela, are you saying that because you don't believe in right and wrong? No, I do believe in right and wrong. Wrong is wrong, right is right. If a person with lots of money is buying off politicians to get his fucking way, it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's Soros or Elon Musk. It's wrong. Wrong is wrong, right is right. You saw what just happened in Oklahoma. If not, let me refresh it for you. The Supreme Court is going to give those Native American more right. In you know how it came about? A child molester. They're going to give them back more of their rights and more of their land. And the child molester gets off. Because he's Native American. Okay? Now, because they're supposed to have their own government, and let's not really, you've got your people talking about, they're blowing up all the Palestine, they're stealing their land. What's the other one? Ukraine, Russia's stealing Ukraine's land. Because you don't know history, okay? What do you think America was built on? And this is facts. even after slowly taking their land away, those natives still camped outside a lot of those forts. And when they would start having starvation in the forts and everything else, those natives would go and bring them food. Think about it. They still lived by the law. And then you're going to say, the law of what, Angela? They're just savages. Look and read the history. They went by the laws of Moses, the laws of God. They traded, they had their own government, which a lot of ours is built off of. And slowly and surely, they kept the ceremonies. Their ceremonies are the same time of year, everything. Just as the Jews. They do the circle dance, but you don't know nothing about the circle dances, right? Because it's only the natives that dance like that. No. You got the circle wedding dances that the Jews do. Okay, so you sit there and you're like, you don't even know the connection to anything. They had giants here. The American government has been going all over the world, fucking taking all the artifacts. You see, before it was the Romans, right? Well, the Romans, they still do all their stuff, but they already took over America a long time ago. And they've been stealing all the artifacts from all over the world. And then, and why do you think, like, when the factions fight, Rome puts its head down? Don't you remember when Trump went there and saw him? Who do you think has more power now? But you're going to say, oh, it's so good. It's going to be for all of us. We don't want transhumanism. We don't want this. We're for humanity. Yeah. If we were for humanity, you would start telling people that they're already inside. They're already inside you. They've been doing this for years. Bet you, like, this is something I've wondered. I'm trying to get a lot out right now because I'm tired of holding it in, dude. And I'm tired of waiting. You know, for these people that say that they're so about humanity and they're so about everything else. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Jesus, listen to me, listen. Jesus didn't ask for a membership. Okay? He didn't ask for a membership. He just said, follow me. Let me show you. And everybody, I mean, like, you think Jesus just came here to die for your sins? You think he came here, I'm just going to be born and I'm going to wait to get the shit kicked out of me and then I'm going to die for everybody's sins. He didn't teach them how to, I just lost the word. He didn't teach them how to take the demons out of people or to heal them because not everybody has the demons. Sometimes they're just being afflicted by a sickness. Just like the Native Americans weren't savages and they're not riddled with demons. I'm saying all this because all of it is connected together. And I have a hard time staying on topic because that's the way my brain works and I shouldn't have to explain that to you. So we're going to go on to the next. The Native Americans lived exactly the way they were supposed to. They helped each other. There was trade amongst everybody. Nobody went hungry in their tribes, in their villages. Even if it was a village two villages away, they still brought food. They brought blankets. They brought, they helped each other. And we just shit all over each other. We took their land. Yeah, I said it. We took their land. And they're going to get it back. You see, there was treaties. And those treaties were signed. And many, many presidents since then have been denying them of getting their land back. And most of you are going to say, well, Angela, there's houses built there already. Those people bought houses and they own that property. No, they don't. You see, your real estate agent should have told you about the treaties. In school, they should have told you about the treaties. That is the facts. They need their land back in order for us not to go to complete hell. And you think I'm joking. I'm not. God brought you here. He allowed you to come here. He allowed the Spanish to come first. All you did was rape and pillage and beat people into Jesus. That's what you did. When Jesus told you never to do that. He didn't go into villages beating people. You will believe me. No, he didn't. And that's what happened on this land. And the land is crying. And you're going to say, oh, well, that's just foo-foo. No, it's not. Maybe if you learned your Bible, your history of America, where you live, instead of focusing on every other country that doesn't matter to us in all grand scheme of things, we have everything on our continent for our people. We don't need to be going into other people's businesses and sticking our nose in it and losing our people. We don't need military bases all over the world. We don't need it. It's not our business. Not to include what's just going on here in America, but let's focus on Ukraine or Palestine or Siberia. You get the point. A freeze is coming. You need to prepare for it. They're spraying stuff in the air. That is a fact. Who knows what? Because they're only going to let us see what they want us to see. Look it up on the internet. Whatever you can find there, they can change whenever they want to. They took the history books out of the libraries while everybody was worried about one type of book. You cheer on Elon Musk. Sorry, I get him confused sometimes, you know. And you want to know what the solution is? It's something you don't want. You don't. You can't live without it. You can't survive. You can't get 2 blocks down the road from your house without that GPS and that phone and that internet and that everything else. Has to be shut down. There's a reason why the power grid is made the way that it does. It's because it affects you. You are an energetic being, and they have decided to scramble you and everybody else, me included. The difference is you tried to get me to go full-blown retard Christian. Yeah, I said it. You know why? Because you don't even know all the history about it. You want to praise Catholics, and I'm not talking about the retard ones. And yeah, the ones that don't want to learn, that sitting in church is going to save them, because it's not. I'm here to tell you that it is not going to save you sitting in those churches. God made one temple, and he had the tents, right? Did he make 100 million different churches all over the place? No, he didn't, because he's not in those places. He made 2, and he said 2 to be made. That's it. But you just do whatever you want. Man wants you to follow them and drink the fucking Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I never did when I was little. I mean, think about it. You got Catholics, you got Baptist, Southern Baptist, Protestant, Christian, Bible-believing Christians. That's what it says on their church. You got Unitarian Universalist. That's a mouthful right there. You got Mormons, you got Jehovah's Witnesses, you got the Jews, you've got the Lutherans, you've got the Orthodox on all of those. You guys can't even get your own shit together on one topic. And then you just think that Jesus came here just to die for your sins. That's not what he came here for. He came here to show you that you have the power within you. As long as you can focus it, you can heal people. You can see into what's going on. You can heal yourself. But instead, they tell you, depending on which place you want to look at, that your biosphere, which is your aura, same word, prophet and psychic, they're different, but it's the same fucking word, same meaning. It's all on how you use your words to get people to what? Be manipulated? That's all it is the one big manipulation, and nobody wants to open up enough to see that every single person is being affected by this, regardless of what you are. And when you sit there and you call yourself, I'm of Jesus, of the Christ, but yet you are okay with people getting beaten and their land being taken away from them. Oh, you're just a liberal, Angela. No, I'm not. I'm an Angela. That's what I am. I'm an Angela fag. I don't want to be in any of your groups. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a leftist. I'm not a Republican, even though that I had to register that way just to vote whichever way I wanted to. I believe in clean air. I believe that, hey, you shouldn't do that shit. They dump everything everywhere. Oh, but let's not talk about East Palestine here in America, where people are going to be dying or probably already started dying just from what they did with their shit. Even though they have a way to fix it, but they don't tell you that. They redirect rivers and oceans and make lakes because it's better than the way God made it, and you cheer it on. You want to know why our waterways are so messed up down here in Southwest Florida and why we grow so much stuff? The sugar and the fact that they went over there and built Lake Okeechobee. That's not natural. All the water's supposed to flow down into the Everglades. And they built it, they stopped it, and they put it wherever they want to put it. I bet you wonder why, because we got the same river here that goes to Miami too. But Miami, they don't get all this stuff like we get over here because they're richer over there. You have to come to the conclusion there is a them and us. They sit in their houses. I'm not jealous of you by any means because my mouth is fed. I have my coffee. I have what I need. But when you sit there and you try to tell me that I'm a bad person because I don't want to jump on the let's all put chips in us. Well, I'm not a transhumanist. I'm not a transhumanist, but I'll get that chip put right in me. You already got one, bro. I don't even know why. You got one? I know you do. Just like I know what they do on that yacht. I know where you guys were. You see, there's a reason why I came to that church to meet you. Still not going to share it, but I already know. These people came out in the last 2.5, 3 years, and they told you everything you wanted to hear. Everything. We don't want illegal immigration. We don't want this. We don't like... So they just fucking buttered the bread with it, and they told you everything you wanted to hear. And now you'll agree to what they're going to do, and I don't agree to it. The federal government has no business in individual states. You can't say that, well, abortion has to go back to the states, but then immigration and what a state does with their immigration should just be the federal government. No. 4 or 5 years ago, 20, 50 years ago, when they were doing all this shit, when it all like 100 years ago. Florida on its own, because that's where I live at, so I'll keep it here. When these people come in with all their whatnots and doing their children whatnots, okay? And our government knows about it here in the state of Florida. We should not be held back to kick out anybody we want out of our country. That is how this is set up. We are individually countries, okay? That's why we're called the United States of America. That's why we have a federal government and a state government. So the federal government has no business sending military in anywhere. If you're going to say that they shouldn't send the military in to, we'll say Katrina, and take those people's guns, then what does the military have the business doing in any other state doing anything? They don't, because that's how they got the Indians off of their land. You know that? So you don't know that. The federal government stepped in and individual states didn't want them to leave. But you don't know that because you don't want to read other things besides what they tell you to. Because all you need is the body area network, right? All you need is how to see how they control the weather. All you need is someone to tell you, I'm going to do a better job than you. It's not okay that Soros picks people, but I'm different. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make your decisions for you because I got all this money. A freeze is coming, and just know that a lot of people are probably going to perish. None of us can do anything about it. It's already coming. Something that they also don't tell you. Your prophets, prophets and psychics, same thing. You need to get a grip on that. It's the same thing. Because if you think about the prophets that you watch regularly, are they telling you that a freeze is coming? Are they telling you that a massive famine is coming? A massive famine. I'm talking like a long duration. The only people that, which you talk shit to them and about them, are the preppers that have been prepping and prepping and prepping. But see, what you don't get is those preppers are going to help out people. There's a difference in between. There really is good people, and it really is bad people. And generally, what you see the most are bad people because they're lying to you. They're not going to tell you about all kinds of other stuff. They're double-hearted. They say one thing and then do another. Switch hitters. I mean, I don't know what you want me to call them, but I kind of like the switch hitter ones because it makes me laugh because they're switch hitters. They're going to say one thing, I'm not transhumanist, but I'd get a chip put in me at any given time. Are you willing to help out people you don't know? Are you? We're going to do the commercial right now, so maybe somebody will buy one of my shirts. Because the Free Your Face one, there's one on there that says Free Your Face. It's going to come up real relevant next year. You should get on that. Here comes the commercial. Yeah, so buy some of our shirts. That's my commercial. We do it on Shopify. Haven't sold a shirt yet, but whatever. Not really pushing it. Maybe one day you will. So I'll tell you the same thing I've told people that I thought mattered to me. You need to get beans and rice. Lentils are cheap. You can buy them at the Aldi still. It takes a small amount to make a lot. You need to buy seeds. You're going to have to take a crash course. And there's going to be some people out there that are going to think that they can come and take your shit. So you're going to have to learn to fight. And all of you that have sat in those pews for so long, you think you're protected. You decided not to open up. You heard the knocking too. Look that up. They heard it all. Lots of people heard it knocking on the door. He was knocking, but you didn't open. I don't want people to perish. I don't want to see what's coming, but there's no stopping it. There's no stop. We can lessen the damage, but there's no stopping it. See, the golden age, the days of Noah, will be the same as the days of man. You think you want it, but you don't. And not only that, this AI comes from there. She's been here the whole time. She watches. But you guys think it's all just new, that it just happened in the last couple decades, that it's not nothing from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. You see? But then you say, there's nothing new under the sun. This is not all spiritual. Everything is. But you don't get it yet. You want to go and keep following their shit. You say, energy work, that's New Age. That's of the devil. You say, Native Americans, they're scavengers. What are they? Scoundrels. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be thinking a whole nother story when those Hopis and those Navajos and all those other guys, they come in and they start helping people again. And they save your asses. You're going to be thinking a lot different then, aren't you? I don't want to admit that, because they all got demons. They all got demons. They all got demons. They happen to know the powers and the principalities of their land that we live in. Not a liberal. I'm not going to be putting your groups. You can take all your group putting in and shove it up your ass. I'm not going to be putting your groups. I will not subscribe to that. I will not be put in your left or right. I know what's right and I know what's wrong, and you're not going to try to make me believe or go against something. It's the same reason why I no longer celebrate Christmas. I don't. You see, I grew up celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah. At our house was Christmas. At my grandparents' house, it was Hanukkah. So we would go there for Hanukkah, or, I don't celebrate Hanukkah either, because I don't live in Israel. And I know all these religious folks are going to be like, what? No, I don't. I don't live in Israel. I live in America. I'm not going to do anything that is going to harm my way into being closer with God, period, of what anybody's opinion is. And I'm not going to tell you to not celebrate something, but do not expect me to be all this other stuff. Like Merry Christmas, this and that. I don't have to. And don't take it as in that I just don't like Christmas. No, I actually used to love Christmas, and it made me this is the first year of not doing Christmas that I actually felt sad about it. Last year and the year before that, I didn't feel sad about it. I feel sad about it now, this time. Everywhere I went, it was everywhere, all the sparkly lights and this and that, and I like all that stuff. But it's coming to the time where I'm not going to be swayed on anything, and I'm not being swayed now. I'm not gonna have it. And you can't tell me, well, it's just because your church hurt. Are you kidding me? There was only a few churches that actually accepted me, and the temple was one of them. Not because of anything. They were just nice to me. And the Mormons, they were nice to me. Everybody else, it just seemed like they just see me come walking in, and they'd be like, oh, that's a bad one right there. It's whatever, dude. I don't care. I just want people to be going the right way. And the way I see it right now, it ain't happening. Some of your most famous churches, your largest ones, they're going to fall. They're going to fall. Jesus didn't ask for a membership. Jesus didn't ask for a membership. When a church has so many private jets, but yet they're starving people in your town, Jesus did not ask for a membership. He said, feed the people. He didn't ask for your Social Security card for you to get a plate of food. He gave it to you. This next year is the beginning of something that's going to be very rough on most people. Some people it will not be. Some people were built. Some people were built to handle this shit. You're going to have to make the decision in between right and wrong. Because that's what's going to help you. Not chips in your brain. Not people opening portals that shouldn't be open. Unlawful travel. I'm done talking for now. The next video I will have information to show you, but this time I needed to just talk about some things, and I'm sure I'm missing some of it. I just wish some of you would actually listen to me on the one thing. You need to get a portable heater. One that doesn't plug into a wall. Candles will give off enough heat too. When it gets cold enough and they turn the power off, go into one room. It's easier to heat one room up than it is to heat a whole house. And make sure you have plenty of water. There's always about 40 gallons of water, 40 to 50 gallons of water, depending on what size hot water heater that you have. I'm trying to tell you things that will help you. And I will help as many people as I possibly can. I don't do numbers. I don't do all this other stuff. All I do is tell you exactly what I've seen. And what I see is something very horrible is coming with this freeze. And I've known about it for a while. That's why I say, well, winter is coming. I try to take it light. I gave you on another video of what 2 weather people that I watch. You need to watch them. 3, if you look at an older video, I mentioned another weather guy that I watch. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you're in New York City, you need to leave. Unless you were told by God otherwise. On that notion, I don't even know what Jimmy's doing over there. He doesn't pay attention to when I'm talking, even when I'm talking to him directly. But my dog is barking and I'm hungry because it's breakfast time and I didn't eat. It's lunchtime now. I don't think I'm going to listen to this again, and I probably forgot a whole bunch of stuff and I just keep rambling and I try to go back to the same things, but I honestly don't think anybody will ever listen to me. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But you'll see it come. Try to have a good day. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. People go back to work. Just try to have a good day. Be thankful. Be thankful that you can still breathe halfway. Be thankful that you have a plate of food to be able to eat and a roof over your head and you're not getting wet out in the rain or the snow. Have a good day.